What a beautiful morning. What a beautiful morning. This Taco Tuesday here with the Conquering the Markets family. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. And I'm looking forward to a session here at $55,000 Bitcoin. Jordan, focus on the technicals. What's going on with FX? What's going on with tea and like the price of tea in China? Jordan, tell me. Listen, everybody. Big. Let's bring it in here. Let's get together, everyone. Bring it in. Listen, what we're doing over here is of uber importance. You cannot be understated what takes place in this community. Life-changing events have already taken place, are taking place, and generational wealth opportunities will take place here. There's no question about that. But listen, I'm here to bring it to you. I focus on what I am focused in on and share that with you. If you want to understand the mind of, let's say, like, how would you classify it? As a ultra advanced trader, right? Then it's not like, hey, focus over here. It's, wait, what are you focused in on and why? It's that posture of being opening and listening. If you're trying to tell me what's up, you're missing it. Let's get into it today. We got a really exciting session planned. We got a lot to talk about over here. Equity markets, by the way, opening up in about 24 minutes are pretty much unchanged. Nasdaq a little bid. Don't expect much, or I don't expect much going into the FOMC on tomorrow. I told you about that yesterday. FOMC, biggest market event of the week. Is Jerome Powell going to drop the ball and sound hawkish? It doesn't matter what Jerome's intentions are. Oh, he's a nice guy. It doesn't matter what his intentions are. It only matters what the market thinks about what he says. It's the biggest meeting of his life. Yeah, it was very easy to step in March and just like, $4.1 trillion expansion of the balance sheet, QE to infinity. That's easy. That's easy. What he's got to do today, giving the market a little bit of read here as inflation is beginning to run rampant, rates are rising. What are the Fed's plans? If he sounds more hawkish than the market wants him to be, what you're going to see is the dollar go bid. Jordan, focus on FX. Listen, we have over a year's worth of training courses in the Conquering the Markets training program, working with me directly, intimately on the foreign exchange. If you want to know anything about the markets, Forex is the core of the markets. The training program is an absolute tremendous wealth of resources. Here's the thing about the markets. They're the same today as they were 100 years ago. They're not changing. If you want to focus in on how to trade the markets, you got to understand how to trade price, or if the market structure of support and resistance with the help of trend lines and chart patterns. You have to understand risk. You have to understand how to manage a trade. You have to understand where to put your stop loss. You have to understand how to push your trades and where you're looking to take profits and why and how much. We cover that. And when it's time to talk about anything that's taking place in FX, I will be there. If you're paying attention to what I focused on this year, there's a couple of things on FX since January has occurred. One of them has been short the euro British pound. Oh, easy peasy. One of them has been long the pound Japanese yen. Oh, easy peasy. Long the pound US dollar. What's going to happen here? I don't know. The dollar, by the way, and we'll break this support. We're in trouble if right now you have a breakout and now a retest. Still bullish structure intact. Go ahead and put down this trend line over there like that. Let me make that a little darker. If it breaks out again, you're back resuming off. And if we lose this support, the dollar could appreciate versus the strong pound because the dollar could go bid if Jerome comes in a little bit too hawkish. Watch what's going on with the DXY. You can see this trend line over here. We're having trouble breaking above it. It's still acting as resistance. We're at an inflection point. It doesn't require your constant attention. It doesn't even require looking at it daily. You got to get above this resistance here to know that, okay, we got a bigger move occurring. Or if we are rejected after the FOMC and we come back down, then we're looking at that further weakness here as we trend sideways, waiting for maybe a bigger leg down. What's going to happen? Well, I don't know. We're ahead of it. We will watch. By the way, the market is paying attention. Just look over here. Do you see the top of these wicks? Do you use the bodies or the wicks? Do you see the top of these wicks? And then over here, the move into there. I mean, it's clear to say that the market is paying attention. A smidgen, if you want to be a perfectionist, which I'm not, you could just move that up to there. And then if I went back, and I don't really care, if you went back over here, oh, look, that was a perfect touch. The way I had it was like this. I'm going to go back down to where Jordan had. Anyway, I don't really care. That took up more time than I really wanted. Let's get into and focus on what's important. What's important over here? S&P 5, no, it's not the S&P 500 right over here. About to break to new all-time highs. It must be the Nasdaq. No, breakout, retest, right? Resumption, breakout, retest, resumption. Conquering the markets all day long. This is what we do. We set it up. Jordan, could you focus on Bitcoin? $55,000. What happens next with Bitcoin? Are we looking at another 30% pullback? It's the question in a lot of people's minds, I am sure. Listen, if you just bought Bitcoin, if you just bought your first fraction of a Bitcoin, and you're wondering what happens next, I have a lot to talk about. This training session this week, though, is going to be the best. That's hard to say with over the last year and a half, but the last 6 weeks, the training sessions that we have done, I'm going to say they've been absolute fire, right? But this one also is going to be, let's call it extraordinary, and I'm stoked about it. So anyway, what are we looking at? What happens if you just bought into Bitcoin? A lot of people just really took serious positions, maybe inside their 401ks, maybe inside their Roth IRAs, maybe into GBTC. They're wondering what's going on over here. Bitcoin trading at $55,000 looks super bullish to me. I'm seeing higher highs being put in and lower highs being put in. The structure of this thing looks uber bullish in the bull market phase. Am I worried or concerned about everything coming off a double pullback? We had a pullback of 30%, a pullback of 25%. Generally speaking, I believe the next move here is going to be up. Am I worried about another potential pullback, right? Or should you always be aware that we could have a 30% plus drawdown at any point during the bull market phase? Yep. We just had 2. Do you think another one's coming? I don't. Right? We have this, and I pointed this out to you as soon as we broke above it. This was the resistance, right? And I said, once we break above that, we go into price discovery. We made it, coming back, just looking to test that broken resistance as support. We kind of wicked into it already. Is that the low? I have no idea. I can't predict price like that, but I do know if we break below that, well, then the next level of support to watch out for is the resistance turn support of this bull flag that we've broken out of, right? Is it possible that we trade all the way back down towards 4,500? Yep, totally possible. And then what happens if we broke down back into that bull flag? Well, then that's not looking so good if that were to occur. And then maybe we could look at, a 30% plus drawdown and where would that take us? But right now, we're looking way too bullish to do that. We have to first break below this broken resistance turn support, and then we got to break back below that broken resistance. Now should be support. I should have turned support right there. Breakout, retest, resumption, conquering the markets all day long. So listen, I understand. And if you think you understand Bitcoin, you're wrong. I don't understand Bitcoin. I spend my time all the time trying not only to understand Bitcoin, but its current price action as it goes through its current phase of the 4-year cycle. It takes my hyper laser focus all the time to try to be on the right side of the trade, but I don't understand it. I can't say that, I don't have the crystal ball that tells me, are we going up to 70, 80, 90,000 from here, or are we going to consolidate maybe in a range for 6 weeks? I have no idea, and that's why I need to spend my time, my focus, watching what's going on over here each and every day. If you think you understand Bitcoin, you just straight up, friend to friend, you're completely wrong. You're out of the game. All right, let's get back to it over here. Let's get in the game. The title of this video, by the way, is a couple of things. It is, I don't even know what the title is, but the title of the video, I believe, is something about exiting Bitcoin, why price is the most important factor, and then followed by time. And I'm going to enforce that later, why time is so important. And it's the only trade for me where time becomes such an important factor, right? But it's that price action. It's all about price action. Today's Taco Tuesday. Please remind me that we need to, before I get into the presentation, before I get into today's presentation, I'm just going to blow it up. I'm going to blow it up over here. I'm going to bring in Head Snack, Taco Tuesday. Let's get it going over here.
Analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing just to pretend they're in fashion. Hit the like button, comments, and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room. Grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
Totally fired up. Totally fired up. I love it. I love it. I love it. Big shout out to Head Snack over there. By the way, right before I get into the presentation, we got a nice, beautiful presentation today. Let's go ahead and if you could go ahead and smash the like button over there for Head Snack, bringing the love for us. Each and every Tuesday, we get the jam. Go ahead and do that. Tax hikes ahead. All right, Rainer, let's switch this up a little bit. I'm going to keep that going 1 second. What's going on over here? Ray Dalio, I am, understand the case for Bitcoin in 2021. Let's call it February of 2021. A little late there. Can you imagine the amount of resources that Ray has at his disposal? The team that he has, the largest hedge fund in the world. February 2021. Oh, yeah. Bitcoin, $40,000. Oh, yeah. I get it. Ray Dalio. Now he's going to say what's up, right? Now you should listen to Ray because Ray knows what's going on. Yeah, sure. The Bitcoiners, these giants, these intellectual giants, 10 years ago, game played through everything that is unfolding and happening today. Those are the ones you listen to. The ones that Michael Saylor, right? Lynn Alden aside because she's new. The one that Michael Saylor said, these are the people that following the material and thought that they put out there made me realize my mistake and come to understand Bitcoin. Nevertheless, important over here, what he's talking about over here at taxes, what Ray Dalio is saying, listen, we're entering a position in time, right? We've talked about we're going to see massive stimulus. That's happening. Do you go back 11 months ago? I was like the only focus that this community now focuses on is the biggest signal. That is the expansion of the central bank's balance sheet and the coming government stimulus. Have we seen stimulus since? Boom, 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 you got COVID. Yeah, it's going like crazy. And now they're talking about trillions more, right? So what are they going to do? Now they need to tax you. They need to, here, take $1,400, but now we're going to tax you, right? Right? That's what they do. That's what they need to do. And it's going to get ugly. Not yet. Not this year in 2021. In the future and in the near future, you're going to see some significant tax bills passed, sizable wealth confiscation. What it means, well, it doesn't even matter. It means the death of capitalism in the United States, but we'll get back to that later as it unfolds. That's CTM 2 or 3 years from now. We'll be covering it. Always focused in on what's going on, making sure we know what's going on. Money Master, after you watch the Money Masters, watch the creature from Jekyll Island. Absolutely. All right, here we are. Let's talk about Bitcoin, $55,600. What's next over here? Let's talk about the most important thing in the room today. Let's talk about this current bull market phase, what type of price levels I'm watching. We're going to kick this off with Raul's perspective as well, and we're going to get into it and flow with it beautifully right now. Boom, boom. It's a taco day. Let's go.
Now, I've peaked at 1 million, but not for this cycle. But it's possible that it overshoots. So I've just used a regression line and used the trend.
All right. So first of all, he's saying, yes, I have $1 million price prediction and not for this cycle. I just want to be very clear about what Raul is saying as he's putting out a lot of information really quickly. He's saying that he's looking in this current cycle for us to peak out, not at $1 million, but potentially he's saying, yeah, we could see something like that. And I'm going to show you exactly what he says as this unfolds.
The log scale. And basically it says somewhere between plan B and 400,000, 400,000 is right, but it could actually hyperextend to get as high as it did from trend in 2013, which will give us a
Okay, so what he's saying when this could extend all the way to what happened in the first cycle, 2013, the top would have had us somewhere around $800. He's saying, could we go to $1 million this particular cycle? This is where we are right now in blue. Is that possible? Yeah, everything's possible. It's the markets. We saw oil go negative in 2020. Is that likely? I don't think it's likely. Is it good that he's watching it and it's not his probable case? Sure, that's pretty good. This is the vertical move in 2013. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to disturb this over here because we got people focused on what's going on noise. Is this channel a Raul and Pop follow-up? Boom, always showing Raul's content, right? So I spent a great deal of the past 12 months pointing out Raul's errors, which have been drastic, right? So when he gets it right, I have no problem letting him know it gets right. By the way, if you're going to mess up, if you're going to interrupt the flow, you better bring the goods. If you're here because like you don't know what's up and you just want to be heard, I don't have time for that. Next time there will not be a warning. Next time we won't take the time to hold your hand and try to help you and know understand what's going on because we got goals to achieve. The people that have been following this channel, whether it's for something small like 3 months, right? Those that have been following for a year, 6, 7 months, life-changing things have already occurred. People now able to afford higher education for their kids, pay off their mortgage, right? Is this a Raul pump and bump? So defensive. I'll eat you for lunch. Bingo slots. I will eat you for lunch and spit you out. Was a 92x from price at the halving point up until the bull market cycle peak was a 92x. Now keep in mind in the last cycle, in the previous cycle, 2017 bull market phase, we had a 30x from the halving, a 30x. This current cycle that we're looking at, we believe is somewhere between this first cycle and the second cycle. Where that puts us, all that we can say is most likely under a 92x and above a 30x. You can see over here currently, we are a little more towards the upper first cycle, a little above the average of the 2 cycles and way above the second cycle. Again, this is under uber easy monetary conditions set forth by the Federal Reserve and the central banking system. And the US government just continues stimulus, trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Where it's all going to end during this bull market phase over here, is it possible that we overshoot the first cycle and have something greater than the gains we saw, this 92x in the first cycle? It's unlikely. I guess Raul is very correct here in saying that it's a possibility. And if that were to happen, here's what we're looking at. This is why he's going to get into his price target is somewhere between 200,000 and 2 million. I guess that he believes some people are underestimating price to the upside. I think that we're right in the sweet zone. We understand exactly where price is between the first 2 cycles. That's what our base case where we continue. Whether or not we see something like a sharp increase, vertical move on the price of Bitcoin during this cycle, resembling that first cycle over here. And then at that point, prudently exit any leverage positions. For sure, lightly leveraged positions get reset over here and looking to accumulate for that long, then we might be looking at a longer consolidation phase if something like that happens, right? I don't think that's what happens. I think we remain steady, resembling more the second cycle in the trajectory over here in the slope. But you could see that could change very quickly and we could start testing and even breaking above the first cycle. Anything's possible right here. We're just watching. And then we're going to narrow it in to what we think the most likely conclusion is. And we have that pretty much with precision. For the last few months, I have not looked at any type of target, really talked about them with you. We're going to do that today. We'll look at some potential targets, all of them in my mind. I'm more focused on the exit. I'm focused on when that exit's going to be from a variety of factors. And the most important one is price. The most important, because if September 21 comes, and we're not going parabolic, I'm not exiting. There's no way. I'm going to get it right. So where does that bring me? Where does that bring us? I like to look at this chart over here because I'm waiting until we start breaking out into this lighter blue area over here. That's going to be a sign to me that we're getting ready for a potential top. It's going to happen. When it happens, I don't know. Is it going to be after the peak over here as we make up to the right, as in the second cycle? Or is it going to be before it, as in the first? You know what? For me, I see very clearly that we're between the 2 cycles. This was a very easy, QE was happening, very easy monetary conditions. In this one, we started tightening towards the end. It was not easy monetary conditions, still enormous gains. And this one, we have very easy monetary conditions, once again, just with a much more mature market. We're now talking about $1 trillion market cap. In this cycle over here, we're talking about a very small market cap, and just a little bit of money entering the space had big ramifications. This one over here, we're between the two. Very important to understand why. As I'm looking at this, I'm thinking as we get close to this point, that's when we should start making, earlier than this one and later than this one. That's somewhere around the time we're going to making that peak up over there. As we're making that peak up, are we going to come higher than the second cycle? Because this cycle certainly looks like to me that we are outperforming the second cycle, right? Not as much as the third, but the second. In the second cycle, we did not come up to the top of this lip over here, to the outer edge of that deviation. In the first cycle, we surpassed it. So in this cycle, are we going to come towards that lip? It looks like we're, outperforming the second cycle. It could be. I like this chart. It gives me a little bit of awareness of where I am. The $1 million Bitcoin, and just to plant the seed in your head, the reason I'm not looking at what potential price projections are in the next bull market phase, 4 years from now, that's what we will be doing. As we're here on a beautiful morning together, taking a look at the markets, we're going to be looking at potential price targets for the next 4-year cycle bull market phase, which will be taking place in 2025. Will that be $1 million Bitcoin? I mean, you know what? Do we need to even talk about that right now when we're talking about numbers that are dizzying for this current bull market phase? Now, some people might be thinking, what are the possibilities that we're going to be looking at something like, $150,000 Bitcoin right now? I think that we're, this bull market, we're trading at $50,000 right now, $150,000 Bitcoin. That's okay. That feels good. Yeah, but you have to make sure you get it right. Are we going to see $150,000 Bitcoin? I strongly believe so. Everything is aligning to continue to look like that's going to happen. If someone sells at $150,000 Bitcoin off a price target alone and not looking at where we are right now, how many days past halving, right? Not looking at things like the R-Hodl index, not looking at things like the current price action, might they be significantly selling themselves short, right? Could we be looking at something like 250, 350,000 or higher on Bitcoin? I'm focused on these green numbers in the second cycle, and you could use these price projections, price projections. I don't know if I have that right, to look at where we might end up during this cycle. Now, we all understand that so far to date, this current cycle is well outperforming the second cycle. Very super easy monetary conditions. We are definitely by a large factor outperforming. Whether or not that continues, or do you think we're just going to dump down all of a sudden, or do you think that we peak earlier than the second cycle, later than the first cycle, and then start that bear market? What is the ultimate peak? Are we outperforming this over here? This, what was it, a 19x over here? This from the 8,572 halving number. This is the price at the halving. If we had a 30x like took place over here from $658 to $19,892, a 30x. If we have that again, that puts price this time at $260,000. Why that is important? Do you think that we're seeing diminishing returns? If you do, then maybe you're looking for somewhere around that $150,000. If you're looking at what's happening and you're seeing everything so far does not even hint whatsoever about diminishing returns, but increasing returns, that puts your number above the $260,000, right? So the reason I don't talk about price, because the numbers we're looking at, all of a sudden, it really just makes your head spinning. We don't need to be talking about $1 million Bitcoin or a $500,000 Bitcoin, right? We're going to put a little bit of markers out there. So minimum, are we looking at $260,000 Bitcoin? By the way, if you take the bear market low, $3,129, the last cycle, 152, we had 131x from there. If you had 131x again, that would put us at $410,000. Now, I don't do that. I don't look at the bear market low. I don't look at the bear market low. I look at the price at the halving event personally. So this $260,000, right, as a minimum, and I believe that we're going to trade it above it, that's more important to me. Okay. What about if you take, we have the last high, the last high was 19,892. If you took the last high, we had a 17x from this cycle to here. If we had a 17x again, that's putting us at $340,000. Do I feel pretty good about price for this potential bull market ending up somewhere between that pocket of $260,000 and $340,000? I feel really good about that. If you want to know where do I think that we have the possibility to trade above that? Great. If we do, I'm going to nail it. If someone wanted to ask me where do I think that we're going to be looking, do I think we're going to be trading above 250 and right around 350 in that window? Yeah, I feel really good about that. Nevertheless, if we only made it to $160,000, at $140,000, you should have worked out your trade, the math, so that mission accomplished. You have met all your objectives for this bull market phase. That's how we're starting off, getting a little bit of perspective over there. That's how we're starting off. Boom, 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 boom. And that's how we do it here. And that is how we do it here. This is conquering the markets all day long. This, my friends, is what it's all about. This is what you want to be focused on. This is massive signal that's occurring over here, only here. Here we go. Let me get back into the real time with you. The question over here, Jordan, what's your opinion on market correction? Do you believe we'll see 80% correction or will the corporate adoption soften the fall? Jürgen, yesterday's session covers this. It's absolute fire. Absolute fire. Emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Watch that video after this one and it will answer that question. The best. Now, is this a Raul pump fest, right? Did that look like a Raul pump fest? Or did it look like Raul giving opinion and then Jordan coming in here and schooling him? Think about it, right? Listen, it hurts my heart when stuff like that happens. I have to be honest with you. I'm a father of 5 kids, one on the way. I am super gentle and patient with them, but they know when I say something that I mean it, and they respect my authority as a father. When I have to discipline them, it hurts me. I do not like that. I don't like giving timeouts. But I'll sit there with the kid patiently and lovingly until they get it and understand. We got business to take care of over here. I don't have time for all of that nonsense that occurs elsewhere on the internet. This place is not like that at all. Boom. All right. So what else are we looking at over here? What else are we looking at over here? That's an important video. I needed to share it with you today. I need people to be focused on the exit. I'm preparing you psychologically now for the exit. Someone mentioned in the comments, I might have it right over here. I hope I do. I hope I have a screenshot of it right over here. No, I don't, but I'll cover this one in a second and then I'll get back into it. Someone was saying, Jordan, yesterday's video helped me understand it's not just the 4-year cycle, but the 4-year cycle itself is the Wall Street psychological cycle. Yes. That's exactly what it is. And now you see it. And now you're becoming Neo. And all of a sudden the matrix is becoming clearer and clearer. And then when you have people, Michael Saylor, saying there's going to be no bear market, you're going to understand why he doesn't understand what he's talking about. Because he's not a trader. He's a salesman. Thankfully that he's on our side. And he's out there pumping Bitcoin, bringing corporate awareness to it. Michael, Chad Saylor, get on you. But we got real work to do over here, and that's what we do together. That's why I'm focused what I'm focused in on, because as much as you think you understand it, you don't. But I do. I mean, when I say I do, I mean I understand that it takes my focus, it takes my attention to make sure that we're able to go over here to ride this bull of all bulls and get off it before it bucks, because it's gonna buck, and that buck is gonna leave a lot of people holding a lot of bags, and then they're gonna want to get out. Because they're going to all of a sudden being like, wait a second, I really wanted to get that house from my neighbor, from my nephew. I really wanted to help mom and dad out. There were things that I wanted to do, and now all of a sudden, price is crashing. You know, Taco Tuesday, price is not crashing. When it's crashing, I'm going to let you know. It's going to crash. We're going to see over here the bull market phase advancing to a parabolic move that's going to end in a vertical blow off top. And that's the exit, my friends, and we're going to get it. Michael Burry. That guy was right back in 2008, right? 2007. Why is he so bearish on Bitcoin? His only argument is there's been a significant amount of leverage in the run-up. I mean, so what? It's already reflected in Bitcoin's price volatility. Yeah, it's super volatile to the upside right now. I cannot take Michael Burry seriously anymore, right? Whatever. Listen, leverage will cause a burning bear market. Maybe some public company raising money, debt at near zero, will buy the top. Yes, we are seeing price expanding here than the previous cycle. It's because of the Fed's uber easy monetary conditions. Yeah, there's a lot of leverage in the system, but you see how easily that leverage gets burnt out. We saw just yesterday $1 billion in derivatives markets and Bitcoin longs get eaten up, taken out, and spit out. That's what the market will do to you. George, how does that happen to you? How do you take a position and then on this 15% pullback get liquidated? How does that happen, by the way? If you haven't watched the training session about 6 weeks ago called How to Trade Bitcoin Lightly Leveraged, experts only, and if you're doing it, you have to watch that video as a starting point for understanding what's going on. By the way, where is your liquidation level right now? Do you think we're going to have a 30% drawdown, a 33% drawdown taking us into the small support at 40,500? Right? Or do you think that we're going to trade back now down towards that stronger support, 37,800, a 38% drawdown on Bitcoin? Is a liquidation below that right now? Below, by the way, let me just highlight this little bit of a bull flag, the support of that bull flag, right? It's over there. There's the bull flag. Below that over there, right? 3,400, is that safe? Yeah, that's a pretty safe liquidation level in my opinion. And I already pointed out to you, in my opinion, understand what you're doing and how you're doing it and why. Should this little bit of a drawdown have even concerned you? No. Lightly leveraged. Bitcoin lightly leveraged. So listen, if you break this bit of resistance over here, all right, maybe you lighten up on the trade a little. And then if you broke this support over here that we talked about earlier in this episode, yes, then you would even lighten it up more. That's bringing your liquidation level down maybe below $28,000. You could sleep well at night, you're safe, you understand what you're doing. Yeah, five times leverage is uber aggressive. If you are new and don't understand and would like to understand more, we have the training sessions available. They're on the Conquering the Market recommended playlist when you join the training program. It's essential. There's nothing else to say. It's absolutely essential. Phil, again, that's where you got to start. So what else are we looking at today? I just want to apologize to all of you. That stuff really, hurts my heart. I don't like it. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is. What's the title of the video he's talking about? I don't know. I'm not on the same page as you, my brother. I wish I could. It's hard for me to be on the same page as some random comments. We got to focus on what we got to focus on. That signal. What's the signal that Jordan's been saying for the last year that's the most important? The expansion of the central bank's balance sheet and government stimulus. What do we got going on over here? There's another $4.1 trillion stimulus coming. What? Yeah, the $1.9 trillion by U.S. government. Those checks are being mailed out over the next 10 days, and then followed by a $2.2 trillion by the ECB. Head explode. Models are going to break. Most likely they're going to break to the upside. We're watching if the model breaks to the upside. The model broke to the downside during the dollar liquidity crisis here in March. The model broke to the downside. It is possible the model breaks to the upside. That's why we don't have price targets. When we look at that sweet spot of where we think price is going to end up or be, that doesn't mean that if price hits one of those levels, you exit. You have to watch the most important factor, the most important factor of them all. It's not the pi cycle or anything else it's not the RSI. It's not some random fib level, right? It's price alone, right? And if price starts peaking out over here, going vertical, and it's way before our window. When I talk about our window begins, right? By the way, we're looking how many days past the halving. This is where the first cycle peaked. This one clearly underperforming. This is where the second cycle peaked, clearly overperforming. Are we looking in this window somewhere between 350 days and call it probably 450 days? Yeah, that's one of the most important signs of when our exit's going to be. The most important is how price action is playing out itself, right? That's what I'm going to walk you through as it's unfolding. You got to have that area that like this is the window where we jump. Yes, price is part of that. We also know that if we go vertical up over here, why would we go vertical? I don't know. What's another $4.1 trillion for you? It's like Oprah giving out cars or something like that, right? Yeah, here's $1 trillion for you. Actually, here's $1,400 for you while we take some, billions of dollars and send them to our friends across the world. That's what it is. In 2008, everyone was upset that they bailed out the banks. It didn't do anything for the people. This time they're playing you and everybody else. They're giving crumbs, not even crumbs. They're giving hard, stale crumbs that are devaluing. And then they're like billions and billions of dollars, totals of trillions of dollars to themselves. It's way early. How many days do we have after the halving? We're right 106 days. What is this coming from? Is this coming from the halving or is this coming from the bear market low? It looks like it's coming from the halving over here. The previous 2 cycles, 290 days. Do we got some time left? Approximately 6 more months here. We sure do. It's still early. Keep that time perspective over here. It's still early. What else are we looking at over here today? Did we cover it all except for this? All right, let's get into FX a little bit, right? Because it's so uber important. And it is. It is, but right now, obviously, I don't need I say no more. We had a really big miss in retail sales. Now, this is coming from the weather. This is coming from people waiting for that stimulus for extra long. It's coming out. Are we going to see retail sales increase going forward from here as the stimulus hits the market? Does this give Jerome some cover to be a little bit dovish tomorrow? I think it does. Funny how that worked out. The Fed has always outdoved the market. Tomorrow, people are worried that they might come in a little hawkish. We're going to follow that tomorrow. That's a big one. Over here, how would the markets respond to a hawkish Fed? I'm not really too concerned about it, right? Stronger dollar. If it happens, we'll be all over it. I don't have time to play games like that. Let's make a headline to try to get some eyeballs on it. No, we got to focus in on what's important over here. We got to focus on signal. Did you mix the DXY? We did that earlier in the session. In the beginning of the session, towards the beginning of the session, we looked at the dollar DXY. And by the way, Second Tim 32, January the 5th or January the 6th, go back to the YouTube channel, look at the video that I put out about the US dollar, which is 100% relevant to what's occurring today. Actually, on that video, let's get into it. Because the dollar is important with the Fed meeting tomorrow. So on that video, I drew out this channel for you, right, on the 3-day time frame. And we were trading down over here, January 5th. We were trading around 89.40, coming way off the breakdown out of there. And I said to you, listen, we could go a little further. We could come into the support around 88.40 over here. But what happens next is probably we come up and bounce up and retest this breakdown. Breakdown, retest. We're looking for a resumption down for a big move on the dollar. Well, if we get above this resistance here, we're back into this channel, and then we see dollar strength. That could happen with rising yields. We could see in 2021 a rising dollar. We're at this inflection point. If you didn't see that video, it's an absolute masterpiece. Watch that video. It's January 5th or January 6th. It explains why we are here today, and we knew it before everyone else, right? Right? We knew it before everyone else. And that's what we do here. No, not at all. It's probably a scam. That's all I could say, brown boils. But it's probably a scam. Everyone be careful, right? So the most important trade that matters, that's life changing. Could you take a look at the nervous network? All right, everyone. All right, we got a special week here happening in the family. A special week. We got family from the States also visiting us. We got a lot of birthdays going on. So I'm going to make this fire session a little short here, not without going out with the music. Of course, we're going to go out with the music. We got a perfect look at what's going on over here and more. Today we got, the lemon twist on it. Beautiful stuff taking place over here. Next few days, I will be here through the rest of the week with you all. I already have planned out the epic training session. I think that's going to be on Friday. I will announce to you all by email and in the announcements channel on Discord exactly when that's going to be. And then I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thank you for sharing this time with me. Thank you for being here. We're light on likes. Wow. We're light on likes. I thought this was, again, I got up my gain a little more. All right, everyone. We're gonna go out with a little jam on Head Snack first, and then after that, I'm gonna go out with our music. Let's hear him drop it over here.
Markets, analyzing the charts, hitting projected targets within the margin. Find the flow, sip the matcha, and wait for the waves to come in with lobsters. The kind-hearted Jordan Fosters, working smarter, not harder to move the markers. On his way to conquer, trading and investing, drinking the coffee while reflecting on the blessing. The markets are not crashing, the prices might be slashing, just to pretend they're in fashion. See the like button, comments and smash it. Boom, boom, Jordan in the room, grab the bull by the horns and to the moon. Flow from the plateau, make the play. Boom, boom, it's a taco day.
It's a taco day. It's a taco day.
Yeah. So, great question over here, though. By the way, we all know that later in the year we're expecting our 6th child. We'll be taking. I missed one session since this channel's been alive, Monday through Friday. I missed one session. I'm committed to you all and my family. I'm committed to you all. Know that. Yeah. Obviously, if my wife's in labor, there's no session. Right. But it's not our first rodeo. We know what's going on. We got a full house over here. Don't you worry about it. What else do I want to do? I want to put up a Bitcoin chart, right? And I want to put up our other jam over here. Boom, 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 to the moon. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for that. Appreciate your support and love. This is our jam. Are you just joining us for the first time in months? What's going on, brother? Or did you not like the fact that I said I have family visiting from the States and that we have a special week ahead? Well, we're not on the same page. Most. Sorry. It was an important question. So the last training session we did, we did an advanced Forex masterclass, advanced intermediate, absolute fire session. We did my exit plans for Bitcoin, 3 strategies that I'm going to be employing will be built upon more. Bitcoin lightly leveraged, all markets, how to push your winners. I mean, the sessions have been. Before that, it was an entire wealth of knowledge. The last week I did how to thrive if you're just getting started in Conquering the Markets training program. And I went over the best practices, what videos you should start with, how to proceed with the strategy, how to begin trading to get yourself consistently profitable. And the person's work that I showed was someone who started with the group almost a year ago, let's call it 10 months ago. 0 experience, never even traded a market before. And I was showing their current analysis, which I would call like intermediate advanced, way better than anyone else you're going to find across the internet. That's for sure. Conquering the Markets aside, I'm not talking about Heath. I'm not talking about Brandon. I'm not talking about Alan P or Alan, I'm talking about any random Real Vision guest, Stanley Druckenmiller aside, right? It's absolutely amazing. It's the best place you could start. Likewise, if you've been in the markets for 15 years, 20 years, and you're really not, you're not executing how you thought you would execute, 100% this place is for you. Or you just want to say thank you. Either which way, if you want to plug deeper into the community and be a part of Conquering the Markets in a more intimate way, then it's for you. But that video is apt. Let's start with that video. It's emailed to you 2 hours after you joined, and it's titled How to Thrive Getting Started in Conquering the Markets. And it'll show you that with no or little experience, what you need to do to get where you need to be. 1,000 likes. Fire. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. brother. Big shout out. Thank you so much. Boom, boom. To the moon. Mods, the moderators are God sent. They're a blessing from God. I know it. Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Alan. Big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you so much. Likewise, your Twitter game has been fire. It has been an example. Love it. Wow. Wow, Kimberly, bringing the fire. Eight-bit music. We are a global family. Love the emoji. It's all about cats. If you don't understand the internet, it's all about cats. You don't understand the internet. Absolutely, Heath. Absolutely. I know that, my brother. I know that. All right, everybody. Really, really, really important, beautiful session over here. Bitcoin, $55,000. Have a beautiful day. Thank you for making mine as such. I'll talk to you all later.